All right, day 2. Interesting day yesterday. Today will be very interesting day too, as usual.
Always.
I will start with a question. What do we do when we are weak? What do we need?
We need help.
We need help. Good.
We need attention.
Okay, so how do we deal with weakness? As a society, as a person, as a country, anything. What do we do?
We try to strengthen.
Yeah, and what do we do?
As an individual, if I'm feeling weak as an individual, I search for a reason to be strong, a compelling reason to be strong.
Right. So, to get strong, what do you do?
Well, in whatever it is, I train in whatever the behavior is that I want to be. If I have a weak body, I train my body. If I have a weak mind, I train that.
Okay. What if a country deals with another country and the other country has better weapons? What do you do?
Negotiate.
Find an ally.
Pray,
Yes.
pray.
Hey, wow.
Try and get bigger and better weapons.
Better weapons, right. Better weapons is one of the ways, right? So there is a movie, Admiral. Admiral is a movie about Korean warrior. And he was facing in 1600 somewhere there. 300 ships were coming, warships were coming from Japan. So everybody wanted to surrender. But the admiral said, no way, we cannot surrender there, we have to fight. So he found the narrow place where all the ships had to go through. And in that narrow place, he set up himself with 12 ships. So his ship was the 13 and faced the whole armada there and fought so well that 12 ships, the other 12 ships were so scared about fighting, they wanted to surrender, and they didn't surrender, but they joined the fight, and eventually the whole armada of 300 ships turned back. Amazing, isn't it? So you need weapons, and what else do you need?
You need a plan.
You need a plan, and what else?
Strategy. I was going to say strategy.
You need strategy, right? You need strategy, you need weapons, you need plans, you need strategy. What else?
Courage.
Courage, yes, this admiral was amazing, courageous, and gave courage to all Korean people after that. Courage. So we'll start with a weapon. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, where is it? Where do you share the screen? Do you know how to share the screen?
The little green button at the center of the bottom. This is share.
Jersey,
Okay.
if you
Hooray.
got it.
Okay. Oh, what is this? That's not my screen.
Yeah, center bottom, green. There you go.
Here's my thing. Okay.
Oh,
The Magnum. Magnum 357. You see it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I now come back. So the question is, all right, what's going on? Okay, how do we go back? So where's the similarity between Magnum 357 and the Happy Body?
No clue.
All right, no clue. Okay, so
Not a gun person here, not a gun person.
all right. Well, it's a metaphor. Weapon is a metaphor. When the metaphor for what?
The happy body is your weapon, is your defense against weakness and frailty.
Exactly. Very good. Here it is. Here, yes, we have the happy body because we are weak, right? And we are searching for the weapon, and the happy body is that weapon. It gives us the strength, gives us the power, and makes us ready for whatever it is in front of us, whether it's visible or not. Now, what else?
Jersey, just one point. You've only got 20% power on your laptop, so you might want to plug it in so you don't get cut off halfway through the call.
Oh, well,
When you shared screen, it said you only had 20% power. Just as an aside.
I didn't understand. What was it?
He's just saying maybe you could plug in your computer because you're running out of power.
We don't want you to get cut off halfway through.
Oh,
That's all.
got it. Oh, thank you. Right. You're right. Thank you. That would be not good.
It would ruin the recording, right?
I didn't know which power you were talking about. I was confused for a while.
Oh, you thought I was talking about the happy body power, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't get it. Okay, so where is more similarity between Magnum 357 and the Happy Body? We know that they are both weapons as a metaphor, and of course, and not. Okay, so
If they're not used properly, they will cause incredible damage.
yes, that's true. Where else? You have to be out of the box a little bit. Magnum 357.
You need some skill to be able to use it effectively.
You have to practice, right? You have to practice to gain certain skills in order to use it, right? So if you don't improve the skills, of course, when you use it, it will not be great. What else?
The technology has been tried and tested over many, many years and has stood the test of time, and it's effective.
Yes. Okay. Good. 7.
When you do it, you have to do it the same way every time. Like
You practice it.
surgery, or it's a micro progression to get better, but it's the same skill.
Yes. Good. The skill. Yeah, that's good. What else?
I kind of look at you as the Magnum 357. Okay, I mean, it's, yeah, I do. It's if we go down the fatalist path too far, you pull us back in really quick, and you don't have to say a lot to do it. By the way,
So you have the weapon, right? The happy body is that weapon. But we know what about the kind of a name? Where is the name? Where is the overlapping here? Very.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second, and you mute these iPhone, and there's so much sound.
There's a lot of feedback. Amy, I think you're mute. Can you mute your iPhone?
Muting everybody. All right, we good now?
Yeah, she's good. She's muted.
Now we can hear. Sorry, there was a lot of feedback.
All right, okay. So let's repeat it a little bit. Whatever said. Okay. So where else is similarity?
Hello, this is Melanie. I remembered when you talked before, you talked about the 357 being every 3 hours.
Don't spill the beans, all right? You know, people have to arrive there a little bit. It's too easy to tell that. You can never tell people. You have to create the way that people get it. Yes, so then they really learn something. They grow up. If you give people the solution, then they will never really make that solution their own. Right? So no talking. Let's dig in.
I think
Guys?
I've got.
Mm-hmm.
So it's meals every 3 hours, 5 meals a day, exercise 7 days a week.
Yeah. Big one, right? All right. So we have the weakness. We need something to fight the weakness. And the happy body is that weakness. And the happy body comes with 357. Right? 3 hours, 5 meals a day, 7 days a week. Exercise, meditation, and plan and execution, structure, skills, and practice, right? It's a good one?
Yeah.
How do you like that?
So is that the Magnum gun thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
As Clint Eastwood would say, make my day.
Here we are, right? Yeah. All right, let's go to the, it was just for fun, but also the idea that we reach for the happy body because we are weak. We're not reaching for it because we are strong. So when you reach for something because you are weak, you have to admit first that you are weak. Sometimes we don't admit that, and we really need that. We need that confirmation here on why we are doing certain things. And then when you do it, you really need to do it the way that you evolve, get better, stronger, faster. And that means becoming more powerful. And that's your, in a way, a metaphor for becoming a weapon. And not only a weapon that, you know, you can protect yourself when you attack, or also when you attack internally. Our immune system gets better too, stronger. So you can be attacked by illnesses and you can fight better if you are stronger, if you're not weak. Right? Is it clear?
Oh, yes.
Right.
This is Margaret in Park City. It's clear, but I find when I'm weak, I don't pick up the weapons I need to get me stronger. When I'm strong, I have no problem with the weapons.
Well, what do you pick up when you're weak?
I don't. That's the problem.
Hey, you know, because you follow the normality, yeah? What's normal?
Cake.
What's normal, you don't pick up a weapon.
Right.
You kind of surrender to what's normal and you wait until you're shot, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people do. And that's why it's really difficult and hard for us to think abnormal, out of the box. Especially when it comes with the hard choice, right? Because thinking, you know, out of the box requires hard choice, right? So that's the situation with us, that in order to help ourselves, you have to be stop being normal. You have to bring the teacher from stand and deliver. And of course, you have to know somehow that you can deliver that so you don't sound crazy, that you want to say that you can, the sky is the limit, because it is not, right? But there is possibility for you and the levels that you can reach. And you need to focus on those levels. So, of course, if you can, not everybody can go to Warsaw and compete in Chopin, right? Competition. So there is not everybody goes to Olympics, but everybody who wants can be the medical doctor, because it's not such a big level. Like stand and deliver, the teacher proved that everybody, no matter who is there and how bad they are, they can pass calculus. If you can pass calculus, then you can do anything, right? Message was strong, powerful. So here is the message too. If you feel weak, you have to go out of the box and meet the teacher and become that teacher. You have to become the teacher. And you reach for the happy body as a tool. That for you, the happy body is calculus. As a metaphor. It's a very also powerful weapon. Weapon in knowledge. The smarter we are, the more intelligent we are, the more powerful we are. It's very clear, right? The stronger and physically, or the stronger mentally and emotionally, the better we are. The easier our life is. That's why hard choices is life.
I would argue that Margaret's awareness of her behavior is a first step, and is a strength.
Awareness of what?
Her behavior, what her choices are at that time. I mean, that's a first step. Many people are not aware.
Well, what are her choices?
She said that when she is feeling weak, she doesn't necessarily make the choice, the hard choice.
Yeah, but she's.
So you have to start with a certain level of awareness to change your choice or to even evaluate.
Right. But she's aware that she's not really doing anything, right?
Right.
Yes, and most people are aware that acknowledge the fact that they are not doing anything, what they're not supposed to do. They just wait, right?
I don't know. I think many people are not necessarily aware, maybe on a subconscious level, but they bringing it to your awareness and being able to verbalize it and acknowledge it is
it something that happens?
It's a step. It's something to build on.
Yeah, is it something that happens right now, or it was always?
With Margaret?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Margaret?
I think it's always been there at some level. And as I've become more self-aware, it does fall into what you're saying, Jerzy, is I'm aware, I'm not doing. And from what you just said, I need to sit with, do I want to be normal or abnormal?
Right.
And to me, there's power in that statement. It's kind of like, I'm well aware that I'm not a victim. It is my choice, but I also know where my own inertia is. And I'm just flushing that out.
Well, the whole thing about awareness that we do wrong and we know that we do wrong really is not powerful, and it's not really contributing for our getting better. So the research pointed that monitoring ourselves really doesn't help us. that we can monitor ourselves, be aware that we do wrong, and we keep doing wrong. So then, if that is the case, that's why I started this series, Hard Choices is Life, because it is building strength, inner strength, to be able actually to override the wrongdoing while we are really watching it.
I think with this, then it comes back a little bit between the points that Joyce and Margaret are making, back to the previous point, which was around no choice, no freedom. And I think what Joyce was saying there is that you have to have that awareness, and that delivers, that gives you the choice to then act. But then it feels like it takes a level of strength to act, which is what then obviously you need to build through Hard Choices, Easy Life.
Right. So you can be aware and you still be unable to help yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it's
absolutely.
like the different levels of your dialogues where, you know, the fatalist just says, I'm too tired to go to work, so I'm going to call in sick. There's no debate there. There's no, the person in that scenario doesn't see a choice. They just see that they're going to stay home. But then the next level, the disbeliever realizes that they have a choice, but they still don't want to go to work.
All right. Awesome. Now we are back into the book. All right. So we have our.
Can I just interject here? This goes back to our earlier sessions where we were talking about our beliefs, our strategies, our plans, and that sort of is necessary so that we can realize why we need or we want to do something. It's about clarifying the motivation, I guess, which is very necessary, because if you don't know why you're doing something, then you're going to self-sabotage.
Right. And it's very complex, right, to arrive to that mind that is capable of really saying or overriding the impulse that the fatalist likes. So it's a process of building that inner strength. And that process is a lengthy process. And that process also requires to build the person that, like I said, that doesn't complain, right? As soon as you complain, you can end up with no power and no inner strength. Because the one that complains expects that somebody else will solve that person's problems, right? So it's already a victim.
Can I just add another layer of, sorry, Alistair, go ahead.
No, a very, very quick point. It comes back to the point you were saying before, Jersey, which is that just do it doesn't work. Something deeper needs to be there. Go on, Martin.
I just wanted to add, if we're talking about the Stoic approach, in other words, taking hard choices, which I subscribe to totally, but when is the moment where one becomes, in sort of inverted commas, a martyr? Or when do you start taking hard choices, but doing it out of sacrifice or martyr, out of a martyr or a self, not lacking maybe the right level of self-care, because it can maybe switch and go the wrong way.
Well, yeah, we really cannot really point to that, right? Because it takes time and build up certain virtues in the body system in order to be able to override wrongdoing. So it's a process of building like happiness. You know, it's like you cannot point to the happiness because happiness is a side effect of virtuous person. So here is the same situation, that overriding wrongdoing is that side effect of being virtuous. So you have to build your believing system, you have to build your awareness, you have to become the teacher that comes to the class and has a powerful knowing that everyone there in the class can pass calculus. We are building that teacher in every one of you. Your own teacher. That's why it's a self-mastery system, right? Let me get into that book, right? This is the book, Self-Mastery Workbook, right? And the Happy Body Self-Mastery is that system that is building out of you that power, that virtuous person that is capable to go into the class and know that everyone can be the happy body or everyone can pass calculus. So we changed our justification, our judgments, our believing system about life. And you have to change it. Otherwise, you cannot really move on. You have to change the idea or belief that become medical doctor is hard. It is not. It's just the same thing as to be a plumber, right? That's what you have to have in your mind, not different. Just take the effort, take the time, and that's it. But now, not something that requires from us like a huge kind of genetic advancement or something. It's just become a medical doctor, not bigger. And then you have to have that believing. If you have that believing that everybody can be a medical doctor. What a powerful thing and change in the psyche of a person. Also, what a powerful thing to say to our old children that becoming medical doctor is not a big deal, that everybody can be. Then children can release and they say, well, I don't want to be a medical doctor, I can be, but I want to be a dancer, or I want to be an artist, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be whatever. They can find for themselves what they actually want to be. And they can release the idea that they are inferior to those that, are medical doctors or lawyers. It has to be our choice. We choose not to be medical doctors, and we choose to be business people or artists, graphic designer, coach, teacher, all of it the same. And that believing system is not there. Why? Because we think that something is better than other. And that's a horrible comparison. Brings to us feeling that we are not as good as the others. And that's really not a good feeling inside, right? All right, let's go to the book. I need 3 people. I need a narrator, the one that will read about the story, where we are, the scenario. I need a fatalist, and I need a master. Okay, who wants to be?
I can do one as soon as I pull up the book. It's Amy. Hi, guys. I'm back.
Amy, we need to see you.
I can be a narrator.
All right. Leon will be narrator. Amy, are you going to be?
Oldbag's being a fatalist.
Amy, who are you going to be? A master?
Who's going to be Simon?
I'm pulling up the book, but if somebody has it in front of them first, because I'm using the digital copy, then go ahead.
What page, Jersey?
Oh, well, find it.
69.
I have it. Oh, okay.
Got it. I can do it. Who's left? A master?
Yeah.
Be the master.
I'll be the master.
Okay, then. Awesome. So we have a narrator, we have the fatalist, and we're going to have a narrator reading the first scenario. Okay, what is it? And we have fatalist responding to that, waking up and responding to whatever it is. And then we'll stop. And we'll be silent until I say second round. So that we're going to the disbeliever. And when I say disbeliever now, so then narrator reads again the whole scenario. And we are moving into disbeliever and we are reading. And when we are reading, the fatalist reads the passages that fatalist is, and the master reads the responses, and we move into the disbeliever until we end on I don't even like this job anymore, as fatalist ends there. Then we stop for a minute, and then, okay, I say debater now. So we go back again to the scenario, narrator reads again scenario, and we go into debater. Ends up on okay. And then I say hesitator now. And then hesitator. Now we go again to read the whole scenario. And fatalist and the master respond. And then 1 minute rest again. And the master. So the master, of course, there is no fatalist in the last one, as is no master in the first one. But scenario is read by the narrator. All right, we'll do this way. Everybody closes their eyes for the whole time, except of the readers. All right? So let's start with the fatalist.
Waking up tired. Scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she is sleeping. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work. Fatalist.
I'm too tired to go to work. I'll just call in sick.
Again?
No, wait until I say. Okay, disbeliever.
Waking up tired. Scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she is sleeping. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work. Disbeliever.
I'm too tired to go to work, so I'll just call in sick.
I don't think you have any more sick days available this year.
It isn't up to anyone to decide how many days you can be sick. I'm sick. Isn't that enough?
Sure, if it was true, but you stayed with your friends too long yesterday and you drank too much. Don't you realize that your boss knows this?
What? He can't fire me. If he does, I'll sue him.
What if you take a shower and drink this special refreshing tea?
I don't even like this job anymore.
Debater.
Waking up tired. Scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she's sleeping. It's 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work. Debater.
I'm too tired to go to work, so I'll call in sick.
Don't even think about that. Get up right now, take a shower, and refresh yourself. I'm sure you'll feel better and the boss won't notice.
It's too late already, and I really don't feel well.
You'll be late if you don't stop this melodrama. You still have 1 whole hour to refresh yourself and be on time. You've recovered after worse nights and with less time in front of you.
I'm too old now.
You weren't too old yesterday.
I just wanted some fun with my friends. What's wrong with that?
Nothing, but it is wrong to drink on Tuesday night until 2 a.m. and not go to work after being warned you could get fired.
Okay, I know, but I'm really too exhausted.
Let's go to the shower. Warm water running down your body will make you feel better.
You really think so?
Yes, come on.
Okay.
Hesitator.
Waking up tired. Scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she's sleeping. It's 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work.
Hesitator.
Oh, hesitator, sorry.
I don't like to lose myself like that during weeknights. I'd better get up and refresh myself. I don't want to be fired.
Your boss said it many times. 1 more day of calling in sick won't make any difference.
I don't want to take this risk.
Master.
Waking up tired. Scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she is sleeping. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work. Master.
I tried to have fun with friends during weeknights, but I don't have enough energy to refresh myself after only 4 hours of sleep. No more going out during the week. Time for a warm shower, followed by a cold one, and then a cup of refreshing tea.
All right, now open your eyes. Okay, comments?
I was trying not to sound like a mom.
It sounded very well, actually. Well, the language is there, so, right? All right. Anyone would like to analyze the voice of the fatalist, the first one?
The fatalist seems like a really petulant teenager to me.
Okay. Okay. And when you hear, I'm too tired to go to work, so I will call in sick.
I'm hearing the easy choice.
And is it a responsible person?
Oh, he's untruthful.
And irresponsible, right?
Yeah.
Completely. All right. Let's go to the disbeliever. Somebody would like to talk about that. What is the weight of the voices now? How in the language you can see it?
I've got the impression that he was a little bit self-righteous and not believing that that could happen to him.
You mean you're talking about fatalist?
No, the disbeliever?
Yeah, but you're talking about the fatalist or the master?
Oh, the fatalist.
The fatalist. Can you give me the example in the language?
It was, they don't, I think it's the same line. They don't have any right to dictate how many days I get sick.
Right.
And I'll sue them if they do.
He's a very strong fatalist, right?
Yeah.
In the wrong way, right?
Yeah, it's self-righteous in the wrong way for sure.
Still powerful, right?
Yep.
Still powerful and toward the wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
So the master voice is weak, right?
I was just going to say the master is posing questions as opposed to being more direct.
It's a build here, 25% of the master, 75% of the fatalist. So all the responses here of the master are very weak. Whether in, we can go to, can you give me the example that is weak in disbeliever, the master response? Shows weakness. Where is it?
Well, at the two questions, towards the bottom where the master says, don't you realize that your boss knows this? And follows it up by saying, what if you take a shower and drink your tea? Whereas as the master gets stronger, it's more direct.
Exactly. So it is, inferior, right? It's the inferior position. So the master is very weak in the dialogue. All right, let's go to the debater. What happens here? The voices are even, right? In power.
It also reminds himself of past success, where he says that you've gone in to work in a worse state before, and there's much more certainty in this compared to the disbeliever who deals with very uncertain things like, I don't think you have enough sick days left and he can't fire me. Like, there's nothing definite about those things. But in the debater, it's more positive, and the person is more open to be persuaded to go to work.
Yeah, so the master is stronger, right? And the master here is the one that is doing something to actually go to work, right? So the whole purpose of debater here, when I was writing it, the whole purpose is to outwit the fatalist. So to come out at the end of the dialogue as a winner, even though like slightly, but a winner. So you could see it and you could learn that to deal when you deal with yourself, because these are the inner voices. So look at the end, how the end is ending the whole thing, right? The end is very clear. You really think so? Yes, come on. Oh, okay. So the master is getting what the master wants. Master wants to go to work and wins the debate. And every dialogue will be the same way. So you could see how you can win your debates, in internal debates. Because we have those debates over and over and over, right? So it's a really, the 3 books of therapy, really, inner therapy, how to outwit the fatalist. Because once you really do one time, that you will be doing over and over. And once you move into that master that outwits the fatalist, then you started strengthening the master. And it goes into the hesitator situation, right? When the master is powerful, that fatalist just cannot win this argument at all, right? So let's say debater is the time that is today, but in 5 years you will be in the place of the hesitator. You will end up there. And the whole purpose is to work on yourself that way, so you end up now with the hesitator. Somebody would like to, thank you, somebody would like to talk about the hesitator.
Jezza, can you just repeat that again? In 5 years' time, we become hesitators. I didn't quite get it, or I didn't hear everything you said.
Okay, so the debater voice is the voice, equal voice between the fatalist and the master. And there is a debate to go to work or not. The purpose, when I was writing it, the debater should end up with the fatalist outsmarting the master, outsmarting the fatalist. And the whole purpose in writing is to show that dialogue. So when it ends, the master wins the debate, slightly, very gently, subtly, but wins. So if you start winning those debates, internal debates, those debates become stronger and stronger and stronger. Eventually, in 5 years, you will end up in the place when you actually deal with those situations, the hesitator will happen to you.
The hesitator is the last debate.
That's a master. Yeah, debate, right.
Last debate, and the master wins.
Master is just master, right? The debate, in the debate, the winning of the master is very, very subtle, barely, because the fatalist is strong. In the hesitator, the master rules, right? Let's read again the hesitator.
You want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. I don't like to lose myself like that during weeknights. I'd better get up and refresh myself. I don't want to be fired.
Your boss said that many times. One day, more day of calling in sick won't make any difference.
I don't want to take this risk.
That's it, right? Very strong voice. I'm not going to take the risk. We're going to go to work. And how is it with the master?
No debate.
no debate. There's no even fatalist. And of course, the fatalist, the first one, is the situation with people when they are completely negative. They don't have any positive voice inside. This is the suicidal stage of people. They also, it's a stage where people need really help from outside. There's no positive, there's no messages, nothing. There is only darkness, and ends up usually with death. Now the master is the situation where the voice is 100% positive, and of course this is ideal, probably nobody is, right? That would be Jesus, Buddha, some kind of people that are perfect, right? Perfect. Which, you know, it's impossible to reach by the human being. Let's read the master.
I tried to have fun with friends during weeknights, but I don't have enough energy to refresh myself after only 4 hours of sleep. No more going out during the week. Time for a warm shower, followed by a cold one, and then a cup of refreshing tea.
It's very clear. The master, when made a mistake, corrects that mistake. There's no even fatalist. I will do this way, that way, I will not do it again. The plan is very clear. Powerful statement. All right, so anybody wants to say now generally about what happened here?
Did you say, this is Janice, did you say that the hesitator is in a very dangerous place?
Oh, no, yeah, no.
No, you did not say that?
No, hesitator is in a really great place.
Okay, okay.
You said the fatalist is in
Yeah.
a dangerous place,
Yes.
the very first one.
Yes, but I thought he just said the hesitator, something negative, and I thought, okay.
No,
I just-
but you have to read the whole introduction. Because in the introduction, I'm writing about why I set up energies and percentages of energies that way, of fatalist and the master. How I created these 5 dialogues.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have one more interesting thing that we'll do. So we have the fatalist, and the master voice is very clear, right? Fatalist is very negative, and the master is very powerful. What's the hesitator voice? Is it the hesitator voice is helping the master or fatalist?
Well,
fatalist.
helping the fatalist to reach the master.
Yeah, well, but it's a really master voice, really strong master voice, right? Not yet the voice of a master, but it's very strong. It's on the way to be the master.
Moving towards, yeah.
Whether the hesitator, the disbeliever is the voice of the fatalist, strong fatalist voice, but not fatalist. It's a kind of a, you know, moving in life, but not as dark as the fatalist. And debater, it just does back and forth between when you think about the person. So I want the 5 voices now. We have 2. I want the voice of the debater. I want the voice of the disbeliever. And the disbeliever is the support of the fatalist voice, right? And then I want the hesitator as the voice of the master, supporting the master. So 75% the master. Okay, and the debater. Who is going to be?
I'll do it.
We need 5 people. We have already. No, you are, yeah. So which one do you want to be?
I want to be the the debater. I like to be the master, really.
The master is taken.
Taken.
Okay, I'll be the debater.
Who is now? We have two more.
Disbeliever or
I'll do something.
There's the hesitator.
or the disbeliever.
Two available voices.
I'll do the disbeliever.
Right, good. You are supporting the fatalist.
I can do the last one, which is hesitator, right?
Hesitator. All right. Now it's the situation, guys. It will be like this. Narrator will read, and when it ends reading, we will hear 5 voices at the same time. You all talk at the same time, and you make your debate to go to work or not. So, but we will hear you start talking, 5 of you at the same time.
Okay.
Until I say enough. But you make your own cases. You talk like a fatalist. You talk like hesitator. You talk like a debater. You talk like disbeliever. You talk like a master. You keep talking no matter what you hear from others. You have your own way, and you keep talking. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So after you hear it's coming fast, you start talking. Oh, not in the wrong place.
Before going to work.
Going to work. Then you start talking. All of you are talking at the same time. Okay, everybody closes their eyes. By these 6 people. And let's begin.
Waking up tired, scenario 1. The previous night, Jen enjoyed herself with her friends at a bar. When it was time to go home, it was already 2 a.m. Now she's sleeping. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and the alarm just went off to wake her before going to work.
I am too tired to go to work, so I will call
I'm
sick.
Not a good.
I'm too tired to go
I
to
don't
work.
think you have any
You
more
don't need to
days.
talk to me about it. Get up right now, take a shower, and refresh yourself. I'm sure you'll feel better, and the boss won't notice. Late already, and I really don't feel well. You'll be fine if you don't stop this drama. You still have 1 whole hour to refresh yourself. Be on time. You received these your worst nights, and with this best time in front of you. You're too old now.
If you take a shower,
You weren't too old yesterday. I just wanted to have some fun with my friends.
like this.
Nothing, but I was wrong to drink on Tuesday night. Anyway.
Stop!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's what happens in our heads.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what it means to be overwhelmed, and what it means to really have a really hard time to do what is right. It's so overwhelming.
It is.
You know, Jersey, I think about the next time this person, it's a Wednesday, and their friends have said, there's this great concert. It's a once in a lifetime experience. You've got to come out with us. It starts late, kind of around 9, but you've got to come out. It's this amazing artist. And this is the next week after this scenario has happened. And I wonder how strong the fatalist or master can be after having learned the prior week that it sucks to only get 4 hours of sleep.
Right.
Because that's where I feel like that's our problem. You know, we think we have decided and made a plan, and then we go backwards.
Of course, especially when you are really in the debate, right, stage. But most of us are caught in the debate state. So it's a very subtle, if you win with the fatalist subtly, right, then there is no way that You will not lose in 2-3 days. You will lose again and then win again. And then that's why we will be going all these scenarios, so we are more aware what is the voice of the master, so we start mimicking the master. Once we start mimicking the master, there's no way that you can take the master and corrupt the master. Nobody can corrupt the master. Once you become that, no way. So I was, when I was a weightlifter in Poland, I went with friends who just happened to me, something like that. And then next day, I couldn't lift. I couldn't make a day of lifting. It was like 80%. Just simply, day was wasted. And I became aware of that. After that, I was in bed always 10 o'clock, no matter where my friends were going. I didn't care. I was in my bed at 10. Master was very clear. You go, you enjoy yourself. I go to bed. I need to sleep because tomorrow is my workout day. That's it. It was always more important. My practice was always more important than whatever my friends were doing.
Don't you think it's really important to connect to why then? The why that keeps you motivated to be the master?
True. Work is important here in this, right? Because losing work is not a good thing. What can happen if you lose the work, right? It is, first of all, you're fired. You will go to find the work. You are a fired person, and then you have a very strong, even more fatally striving in your brain, yeah? Who will say, who cares, let's go and find some friends and drink vodka, right? So, we'll find the work, if not, we'll go to welfare, right? And so on. Homeless is not a bad idea either, right? You see this? So, first of all, you're right. The work here is important. If we lose the work, if that person loses the work, that's pretty bad. So the master is fighting to go to work because he's already in danger. So that's why, when, a lot of students go to college, they party, yeah? But they are there to study and then party. So that's why the saying is, first, you have to write a poem, then you read it, then you enjoy it, yeah? You have fun with it. So the work has to be done and then fun after. Not the fun first and the work later. But that's the principle of living. You see, that's the master thing. And those who are smart and intelligent they have self-control, they will do that way. Very interesting research was done in high school with students, with testing whether intelligence or self-control would help students to manage the grades. And it happened that students with self-control were twice as much as effective than students who were intelligent. So self-control is really more important than being intelligent. The self-control, right, is when you come back to the stand and deliver. There was what's important is self-control. Because they all had capabilities to pass the calculus. And they were all kind of intelligent, right? What was missing was self-control everywhere there. And once the self-control was restored, all the students managed what was magical at that time for them.
Well, people talk about we are motivated by either pain or pleasure. That's it. Avoid pain, go to pleasure. So our understanding of what will bring us true pleasure and connecting with that every day is what's going to get us in the gym to do the happy body. It's what's going to get us to put that muffin down and pick up something green. Is the pleasure that's delayed, the delayed gratification, or the energy you will feel by not eating muffins? I don't know.
Well, instant gratification, doesn't help much, right? The delayed gratification is self-control. The research at Stanford with 4-year-olds showed that with marshmallow, that those who were able to control themselves and delay gratification, they got another marshmallow after 15 minutes. And after 30 years, when when researchers visited them, those who expressed delayed gratification were able to have great marriages, no divorces, no financial problems, no problems with law, and so on. And those who didn't express delayed gratification had all these problems. And it was carried on 25, 30 years after. So self-control here is a very important element of our life.
Jersey, can I ask you the reference for the first experiment? Was that the one about self-control being more important than intelligence?
Yeah, I can find it. I don't remember the name of that research.
Okay, thank you. I'd love to read that
Okay.
research. Thank you.
This is Margaret. This has been a life-shifting session for me. I did not view fatalist versus I viewed fatalist versus master as binary, not a micro-progression.
Okay, that's why I, wrote these dialogues. Once I watched people about 7, 8 years ago, I had my clients 8, 10 clients a day, right? And talk to people. And then, first what struck me that people suffer. And I wrote poetry book. And the whole poetry book was this situation and poems and, to really express the feelings of what it means to suffer because you cannot control yourself, because you cannot you can monitor yourself, you can know, you see that you do something wrong and you keep really doing it. It was something that this is really very destructive and overwhelming and very sad in a way to be in a place like that. And I was sitting with people over and over who were showing that. And that is when I felt that poetry, that these people deserve poetry, that poetry is somewhere there. Even though I thought it's somewhere else, right? I didn't think that poetry would be in the places like in my house where people who want to lose weight. But it was not about losing weight. It was about really controlling yourself when you are an addict, when something is killing you and you suffer because you cannot control yourself. So when I wrote this book, then when I kept talking, I realized that people had voices. It was my thing, but how they talk to me, that sometimes they talk to me like a master, sometimes like fatalist. There were distinction between different voices from the same person. So it was almost like delusional or split personalities, right? And because of my sensitivity of language, I was sensing this differences and try to work with them. But it was very subtle and when you work with somebody who is in the debater, is very volatile, that the person can jump toward the hesitator, jump or disbeliever, and it can happen very fast. And I got the idea of creating these dialogues and started working on those dialogues in different situations when it comes to, you know, food and exercise and recovery, the rest. That's how the whole scenarios were written. And what are the scenarios that really we deal with, and where is the difficulties, where we actually watch, where we fail, and where we watch ourselves failing.
Well, what Margaret brought up about it being a microprogression is really interesting, and how you outline your own microprogression in the introduction to this book of your friend coming with his weights to your home. You didn't remember you even invited him. He taught you how to be a master for 10 minutes, and then a master for 15, and then a master for longer and longer. And I love how you said the first week a client comes to you, they're in the, what's the first stage? Disbeliever, is it? No.
Fatalist.
They're just fatalists. Second week, with a little success of experiencing maybe a little less pain, more flexibility, then they are the next one, the disbeliever.
Yeah.
And then the third week, the debater. And then it gives us a chance to stop beating ourselves up for not becoming the master immediately, and just taking these victories little by little as we get to know our master.
Well, better would say it would be first year you are this, and second year you that, and third year you
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you just make them centuries? Why don't you just make it centuries, Jersey?
Yeah, centuries would be good if we lived that so long, right? The most important factor is there is a microprogression between because it's an idea, yeah? So I just thought, what is the voice of a person that is 75% fatalist? So it is, you know, I structured that, right? And I try to find that voice, that power of the voice, as well as the power of the voice of the hesitator, where the voice, the power of the master is 75, and there is a dialogue between 25 and 75. But the whole purpose of that is to see the whole rainbow and to see where you are, to find your own voices, to see where you are in it, and start really working on yourself. And then we will work on that, because the end of the book has those passages when you actually write your own language. You practice your own words. You come out with your own words, because that's the only way that you can acknowledge your voices or your ability to actually recognize. And when you practice long enough, then when you hear outside people talking, you will be able to justify how strong is the master voice there. Is it 59%, right? Is it the hesitator? Or is it disbeliever? What is the voice? According to whatever the situations are, you will be incredible. If you practice and practice this, you will be able to hear others talking, and you will recognize who is speaking, who is talking. Very powerful weapon in life. How you respond to that, it is your response, right? But to be able to hear the person and have the message be aware how strong the master is, or how strong the fatalist is. When the response comes to you, it's a very empowering. All right. Well, good day today. All right. Anyone wants to say something before we close?
I've just got a kind of a comment. I guess the puzzle or the most or one of the interesting parts is what's the crucial point? What makes or what begins the transformation or the transition between fatalist and master? And I know it's not a black and white sort of thing, but there has to be a spark or a nexus or a catalyst, such as you starting these sessions for us, that helps someone start to change. First of all, they need to be aware of the possibility, and then want to do it. So I hope we have a chance to explore that a little bit more along the way. I don't know if they had that in mind, but.
Well, we have 3 books, right?
Yeah.
So we have.
But Jersey, I don't have the book, and I don't know what to do. I'm not sure where I should go and get the book, and I have to wait for the mail. And
oh, Dick, get it on Kindle. Do you have Kindle?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm a fatalist, right? Sorry, guys.
Actually, I couldn't get the book on Kindle. Is it the book on virtues, or what is the name of the book?
It's called Virtues, yes.
Oh, because I looked on Amazon and it's only available in paperback, and I ordered that, but I can't. It's not coming up for me anyway in Kindle.
Which Amazon you're looking at? Which country?
This is not on Kindle.
No, that's not on Kindle.
Yeah.
No, not for me. I'm in Ireland.
It cannot be because it's you have to write inside. You see, it's a practice book, so you have to keep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you meant the other book. But you don't really need it. He's going to give us every time a phrase, very short. Just write it down.
No. You need to buy the book. You need to write in the book.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've ordered the book.
Don't come out with the solutions not to buy the book. It's a wrong thinking. It's a very not good thinking.
Mine took just 2 weeks to get here. It just took a long time in France.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've ordered them all, so I'm just still waiting. So.
All right, you will get the books. All right, guys.
But before it arrived, Adela, it was fun. He gave us an assignment. It was, you can follow. You won't fall behind.
Yeah.
And we know assignment, right? We are reading another scenario. Tomorrow we'll be also reading, like today, and the next scenario is essential strength. No, that's the second. What is the second? Anybody there? Is it?
Feeling old.
Oh, wow.
Feeling old.
Oh, that's a pretty good one, right? I will have fun with that one.
Scenario 2.
Yeah, okay. Feeling old. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Till tomorrow. And on the virtues, we are responding with what?
I think.
You're writing about I think.
I think.
The virtue is what? What is the virtue? We have integrating.
I understand that not improving is normal. Being human is abnormal.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Awesome day today.
Jersey.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Thank
you.
Very good.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerzy.